Hey everyone, it's me, Courtney from A.B.CH. I am here to just have a little check-in with you guys and also talk to you about some stuff that we are working on at the moment. The main theme of what I want to talk to you about is action. Something that we hear a lot when it comes to sustainability in the fashion industry is that there's a lot of talk and not a lot of action. So I guess for me, when coronavirus started to really become a reality and, it started to become really apparent that the whole world is greatly inequipped for dealing with this virus at a mass scale, I wondered what it is that we could actually do as a business and myself personally to act and to help the situation and not to make things worse. So I started doing some research and I realized that there is a huge shortage of face masks, and these are medical grade masks that should be worn by medical health professionals when treating patients who could be infected. And not only is there a huge shortage around the world, but I guess people have hoarded them that don't necessarily need them. And people now are feeling stressed that they can't access them. But worst of all is the people working on the front line, our doctors and nurses, are left with dwindling supplies. I really wanted to put a message out there right now to talk about the actions that we're taking around this and very carefully explain, I guess, what's something we can do as a manufacturing business. So the Australian government has asked for businesses, local manufacturing businesses who might be willing and able to help manufacture personal protective equipment, which includes face masks, gowns, gloves, etc. They've put out a call for people to put their hands up for that, and A.B.CH we've put our hands up and said we will turn our entire factory into a PPE factory if that is what is needed and what's required. However, accessing the materials to make these things, it's a whole different ballgame from what we're used to as a fashion and apparel manufacturing company. And so we've kind of said, look, this is what we can do now. What we can do right now is manufacture cotton masks. And after some research, I read some article that directed me to a study that was done by the Cambridge University, where they compared different materials in DIY masks to see which one was the most effective. Now, this had to consider not just filtering particles and liquids that were in the air, but also the breathability and how someone could wear it for a sustained period of time. And the conclusion is that a t-shirt, 100% cotton material, is pretty much the most effective thing that you can make from readily available materials that are not the actual medical grade materials. And what we're talking about here is 50% sort of filtration as opposed to a 95% filtration of a medical grade mask. So they are not in the same ballpark by any means. However, if you look over to the US and what's happening there right now, nurses and doctors are being told it's better to have a bandana wrapped around their face than to have nothing. And so what we want to do is be really proactive in these early stages while we wait to hear back whether we can convert any of our equipment or get some materials to help manufacture PPE. And if that's not the case, what we can make to prevent the PPE being used up by people who don't need it, and allow it to be saved for the people on the front line. Also, there's plenty of people who would need some sort of protection that don't need that much protection. So administrators, people in other industries, there's plenty of other situations where other kinds of masks, if used effectively and if taken care when putting on and taking off and washing, all these things we need to discuss. But that they would provide 50% of the protection. So I will include in the blog post a link to that study so you can read more about that. But what we've decided to do at A.B.CH is that for every order that is placed going forward from right now, that we're going to include one of our masks in there. And I have done about 8 prototypes to get this mask perfect. And when I say perfect, I mean perfect as it can be for the situation that we're in. So here is one of our little masks here. Now, in true A.B.C.H. fashion. They are completely compostable at the end of their life. They are made more like a garment than anything else, and they're really beautifully constructed. And instead of elastic, they are made with bias binding ties, which means that when you launder it at hot temperatures, which is what is required in this situation to reduce any germs or to kill anything on there that might have gotten stuck in there, that the elastic won't break down over time and that the mask will continue to be able to be used over time. So I'll show you a little demonstration of what it looks like on the face, and it has a little nose piece here so that you can shape it to your nose. You can wear it a couple of different ways. You can tie it behind the head and under the ears, and that will give you pretty good sort of security and protection. And please make sure when you do put this on that you have clean hands before you pop it on the face. But as you can see, it's quite broad protection here, and covers right up to the neck sort of area. You can kind of adjust that nose piece if you need to, just to get a little bit more connection through the bridge of the nose. You can, you know, chill out with your mask. Very effective for dust, preventing dust inhalation while you're sewing as well. So these are going to come in great use to us at, in our manufacturing production facilities as well. They are also useful for if you want to make ties behind the ears, because I know some people prefer something that they can hook on quickly and not have to tie. So you would pre-tie to the length that you like, get it the right size, and you can pre-tie those. And you can also trim down these ties as well, because they are literally, you can just chop them off and you don't have to worry about any sort of sewing or anything like that. Pop that on. You can just pop those behind the ears like you would with a normal medical mask, and voila, you have another version. And obviously you can chop those ties down so you don't have curly Sue hair tendrils coming out of the ears. So that's another way to do it. They're made from our organic cotton rib skivvy material. So the lighting isn't fabulous in here, but it's a beautiful sage green, and hopefully a little bit less gloomy than some of the things that you see on the street at the moment. Yeah, like I said, they are made like a garment, really beautifully finished with lovely bias binding. So not only are we providing these for you complimentary with any purchase that you make through the A.B.C.H. website, but we're also going to open source this pattern so that other people can make this exact same mask at home if they want to. So we'll be popping the open source pattern into the blog post as well. And yeah, you'll be able to make these on your own if you want to. That's totally fine. What's important is how you put it on. You need to have clean hands before you put it on. Once you've worn it once, it's really best to wash it straight away after you've worn it that one time. And so, yeah, if you can keep it washed at 60 degrees each time you wash it, and just making sure that we're killing all those potential germs that have gotten in there. You have to be careful when you're wearing this mask not to touch your face while you're wearing it. It can be tempting if you're not used to it to kind of scratch at the face. If it feels a little itchy, I feel like it's going to be less itchy than some of the other things out there because it is made of organic cotton and it's really soft and lovely and breathable. But you just have to be really aware of that and know that this is not protecting you from getting a virus, but it is putting a barrier and it is allowing a little bit of protection, which is better than just nothing, as long as you keep your hands off your face. I'm really cognizant of the issue that happened around the bushfire time when people all jumped in to make Joey pouches when we had a shortage of, I guess, you know, care and the proper sort of materials to make sure that all the little animals that were being rescued from the fires had places to sleep. And what happened was a worldwide kind of phenomenon where everybody jumped in and made tons and tons of these Joey pouches. Manufacturers made tens of thousands of them. We do not need someone to jump in and make tens of thousands of these right now. I'm providing the pattern so that you can make this for yourself or at home or for a loved one as a gift. It is not there to make 1,000 million of them and donate them to a hospital, because we don't even know if this is what a hospital will need right now. This is personally a gift from us to you, and we do not claim that this is the thing that people need right now, and we will not know that information until a little bit later on. So that is about that's about it from us. But stay tuned with what we're doing, and keep checking out what we're doing on socials and what we're posting about here, because we want to help you through this, and we want to make sure that everybody is being looked after and everybody gets something that they can use as protective wear. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll be back real soon. All right, take care, everybody.